Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and this is my first video. And first and foremost, I want to say that the camera does suck and I know it sucks, but I thought I'd go for the quality and delivery over technology, and to be honest, the quality and delivery will also probably be terrible because, as I've just said, this is my first video. But I wanted to talk about something today which is quite personal to me and which has had quite a big impact on my life. And I know it affects quite a lot of girls, especially young girls between the ages of about 12 and 15. And no, I'm not talking about your period. Thankfully, this is not a video about my first period, although, I'm sure that would be very interesting. Maybe do that. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about scoliosis. So, for those of you who don't know what scoliosis is, and if you're watching this video, I'm presuming you have some idea what it is. That either you have it, or you've had it, or you're related to someone who has it or has had it, or maybe you're just curious, but scoliosis is a spine deformity. And I know it sounds kind of weird saying deformity, but technically that's what it is. It's where your spine is curved instead of being straight. And obviously the spine isn't straight, it's got a curve in the back, but it's not supposed to have a curve from side to side. It doesn't look normal. So I'm going to go through my experience with scoliosis and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So I was diagnosed when I was 17, and yes, that is a very late age to be diagnosed with scoliosis. I have idiopathic scoliosis, so I've had it since I was younger. I've had it since I was about 12 or 13, but we never had any tests for it in school. I know some schools do tests to see if children have got scoliosis. I didn't have anything like that. I didn't even know it was a thing that existed until I went to the doctors with a sore leg, and she referred me to the hospital because there was something wrong with my spine. So to be diagnosed with scoliosis, I think you have to have a curvature over 10 degrees, and mine was way past that. I'm not entirely sure what it is, well, I don't have it anymore, but I'm not entirely sure what it was because when my consultant told me, I was too busy crying, so I wasn't listening to anything he was saying, but I'm pretty sure it was quite a severe curve, and that's because when I was diagnosed, it took about 4 months or 5 months maybe from the time of my diagnosis to the time of my surgery, and there were people in my ward who'd been on a waiting list for like 2 or 3 years, but my consultants pretty much just told me, this is pretty serious. If you don't get this surgery, you're going to be in a wheelchair. You really need this. And to hear that when you don't even know there's anything wrong with you is pretty, terrifying. I know there are some treatments available, such as a back brace if your curvature is pretty small. I don't know much about that, as I said, because I just went in straight for the surgery. Surgery isn't for everyone, but in my case, it was the best thing available. So I had titanium rods put into my spine to straighten it out. And in the picture on the left, you can see these titanium rods. They are all the way down my spine pretty much because, as you can see in the right picture, my curve is pretty bad. You can even see where it is crushing my lung a bit, which kind of diminished my lung function. You can also see in the right hand picture how out of line my rib cage is and my shoulders and even my hips. Okay, so this picture is kind of disgusting and everyone cringes when I show it to them, even I cringe a little bit, but it pretty much sums up how bad my spine was before my surgery. And this is the last picture. It's what my back looked like after my surgery. The scar isn't this prominent anymore, it's faded a lot, but this was about 2 months after surgery. And yeah, I think you can probably tell that I look a lot more normal than I did in the first picture, and I'm really happy with the results. First of all, I'm going to go through some of the symptoms of scoliosis, which I experienced. So the first one was back pain, which is pretty obvious. If something's wrong with your spine, you're probably going to get back pain, which I did, quite a lot of it. When I was walking for long periods, if I was going to school and carrying my backpack, I'd get back pain. If I was sitting for a long time at school writing, doing homework or revising or whatever, I would get back pain. If I sat down in the wrong position for too long, I would get back pain, and I thought it was something to do with my posture, but it turns out that it wasn't. It was my spine. I don't know why I'm laughing at that, it wasn't funny. So the second symptom of scoliosis was that my shoulders and my ribs would different heights, they were uneven. So you can still kind of see here, I'm going to show you that my shoulders, for example, one of my shoulders, you can see the muscle on one of my shoulders is a lot bigger than the other one. So this one is a lot higher than this one. This one's got a lot of muscle on it, this one doesn't. And that's because of all the pressure I was putting on one side of my body when I had scoliosis. So obviously my spine was not straight, as I've said several times, so all of the pressure is going onto one side and not so much on the other side. My shoulders were also uneven, kind of like that. One of them was a lot higher than the other, and it took a while for that to get straightened out even after the surgery, but it was just kind of the way my body was used to holding myself. My ribs also were uneven, so one of my ribs stuck out a lot more than the other one, and it was actually my left rib that stuck out more than my right rib. And as I said, when I was younger, I didn't realise anything was wrong with me. So I thought that everybody's left rib stuck out more because I thought that you needed more space for your heart. Because I knew that your heart was on the left side, and I thought that maybe it was beating, it needed a bit more space. So maybe everyone's left rib stuck out more. Obviously it doesn't, which you'll probably know yourself, but I didn't realise. I hadn't really looked at anyone else's body in great detail apart from my own, and obviously when your own body is the only body that you've really seen, it looks normal because you don't really have anything to compare it to. Now, because of the way my body looked, because of how unsymmetrical it was, because my shoulders stuck out, my hips stuck out, my ribs stuck out, I couldn't wear a lot of clothes that my friends wore. So if they wore tight dresses, I couldn't wear those because I just hated the way I looked in them. I used to wear a lot of baggy clothes just because I didn't like the shape of my body. And you know, it does suck. I think that's one of the big impacts of having scoliosis, especially with young girls, because when you're younger, when you're about 15, 16, you do want to wear nice clothes, you do want to look nice. It's the age where, you know, you're starting to take care of yourself, I guess, and you want to, you know, make a good impression on people. And when you have something like scoliosis, which kind of morphs your body image, it does really affect you, I think, sometimes. I personally, I didn't think about it too much. I just kind of ignored it and pushed it to the side and wore baggy clothes. But I remember for my prom, I had to wear a tight dress, and I just hated the way I look. I wouldn't let my parents take any pictures because I just thought I looked horrible, and it really did affect me. I think that's the first time I really noticed something was wrong with me. So now I'm going to talk about the actual surgery itself. My surgery took 8 hours, and I had 2 surgeons working on me, and I'm not actually sure what the procedure looks like because I didn't look at it. You know, when you're going in for surgery, the last thing you want to do is look at videos of people getting that surgery because, to be honest, it's probably going to be disgusting. So I just went straight into the operating theatre without really knowing what was going to happen, and I woke up 8 hours later and I couldn't really feel anything, to be honest. I was completely delirious from all of the drugs and morphine and painkillers they were giving me, but I had no pain when I woke up. Yeah, everything was pretty good. I was all I felt was relief. And another thing that I want to stress is that this may be different for others, but throughout my stay in the hospital, I really didn't have any back pain. So the only pain I did experience was from my shoulders. When I was lying down a lot in bed, I thought that maybe the pain was from lying down so much, but it was actually my body readjusting. So my shoulders had been locked in the wrong position for so long, and after the surgery, everything kind of moves. So it is normal that your muscles will hurt from this, and that's kind of something that I wish someone had explained to me. No one really told me. I just thought that, I'm not actually sure what I thought, I was just a bit confused. And I had a day, I think about 4 days after my surgery, where I was just really upset. I think everyone experiences this day, so I've been told. You'll just sit and you'll cry, and I think it was partly drug withdrawal. I was tired of being in hospital. You know, 4 days doesn't seem a very long time, but it really is when you're just lying there. I took loads of books in and things, but I didn't really want to do anything. I just lay and watched TV, and I never watched TV, but that's all I wanted to do. I swear to God, I can never watch Four in a Bed or Come Dine With Me ever again, or even The Simpsons, because I watched so much and I was just so tired of them. I was walking after about 3 or 4 days, so after lying in bed for so long, you kind of get dizzy, I guess. So when you sit up for the first time after 3 years, what? I don't know why I said that. After 3 days, if you've been lying down for 3 years, then you know I'm sorry. I don't have any advice for you. You probably want to go somewhere else for that. But when you sit up after 3 days, you feel very dizzy, so you can only sit up for about 10 minutes the first time before you think you're going to be sick. It's kind of a weird experience because you don't think that lying down like that for 3 days would really affect you, but it does apparently. Yeah, it was very hard to walk the first time, but after that I think I just got back into bed, and then the next day I got up and it was much better. And walking was kind of difficult at first. I could only do short periods, but it didn't hurt. I was just kind of stiff and fragile, I guess, so I kind of took my time doing it. When you get back home too, you will pretty much just be sitting around, I guess, for a month or two afterwards. I think I took a month and a half off college, which wasn't very ideal because I was doing my A levels at the time. And if you think A levels are hard, try self-teaching yourself A levels. And I couldn't even look down because if I looked down, it hurt my neck because it was stiff and I was supposed to sit upright. So doing A levels was very hard, but that's a story for another time. So that's everything from me today. I hope you found this video useful or interesting or whatever need you had when you came here. I hope this fulfilled it. And yeah, if anyone has any questions about anything to do with scoliosis or surgery or, anything in the realm, I am here to answer them. I would love to help because I know how nerve-wracking it is when you're going for surgery and when you're diagnosed with this kind of thing. Yes, talking to friends and family and parents will help, but sometimes it's just nice to talk to someone who's already been through it. And I know that because I was in the position 3 years ago. And I've had no problem since. I just want to put that out there. I've had no back pain, I'm comfortable. I've got a scar down my back, but it doesn't bother me. I can't see it. I don't even remember that it's there. So yeah, it's kind of neat. It's just the line down my back. It looks kind of cool, I guess. As I said, feel free to send me a message and I will talk to you another time.